I was at home watching a YouTube live stream when I heard them talking about Minecraft 2 made by Hypixel, the Minecraft server. I was like, what? And looked up Minecraft 2 and saw a bunch of clickbait titles with the name Hytale promptly displayed. Then I looked up that keyword and clicked on the first result for the Hytale trailer. That is when I saw the Hytale trailer for the first time. I could not believe how good this game looked. It was like Minecraft, but on crack. It was everything I could ever hope for, saying yes to all the things Minecraft said no to. Vertical slabs and fences, advanced world generation, deep mechanics, NPC quests, a defined story, better looking combat, even outdid 1.13 the Aquatic update. This is gonna be the best game ever. I can't wait till it's still not out. Hytale is a game that started development in 2015 made by Hypixel Studios, founded by the Hypixel Minecraft server. The reason they would go out their way to make their own game was Quebecs and Mosshorns is, according to Wikipedia. The idea for Hytale arose due to EULA changes by Mojang in 2014, which blocked servers from having microtransactions that affected gameplay, leading to an 85% drop in the Hypixel server's revenue. Now, putting aside that their reasoning is microtransaction based, making your own block game that would compete with the block game that is your livelihood is a pretty bold move, but it worked. The game looks almost done in the trailer and the blog post, give or take 2 years. So what happened? We slowly, over the course of the next few years, saw their scope get bigger, and bigger, and bigger, with no end in sight with how big they want this game to be, even showing us concept for things that would go beyond the scope of the initial launch of the game. Obviously taking advantage of all the attention and hype it was getting. That brings us to today, where we got our first ever video of the Hytale engine the game is running on. Wait, what? Oh, did I forget to mention the part where Hytale's scope got so big that they hit a metaphorical ceiling? The problem? The game doesn't run well on all devices and other limitations. The solution? Redevelop the entire game engine. You might be saying, what?
No, alright.
I know that sounds bad. Like it or not, it's something they decided to do and shared that in a summer 2022 blog post. Now here we are 2 years later, and as shared in the summer 2024 blog post, the first ever footage inside the new game engine.
Are ya ready, kids?
Aye, aye, Captain!
Yep, there it is. If I didn't already explain that this was a new engine, this would be pretty disheartening, but I assure you this is good news. Creating a new engine for a video game, especially one for a game as complicated as Hytale wishes, is one of the hardest parts of this process. So knowing that the engine is mostly done is very good news. So now that they got the new engine done, they can start porting over, or as they like to say, fill in the blancs from the old engine and finish the game, right? Well,
No. Why?
Well, they decide to take a look at all the features, improve and redesign some of the creatures and factions and textures. So far, we have seen completely redesigned Quebecs and Scarix, and I must say the new designs are pretty good. Side tangent, the Scarix now glow blue and drink a blue liquid that I designate pure frost blue Gatorade syrup. Spread the word that Gatorade powers the mighty Scarix armies, and no, I don't think it looks like the shield potion from Fortnite. Not everything has to be related to Fortnite. But with good news comes bad news. On Twitter, John Hendricks, game director of Hytale, confirmed that they are cutting zones 4, 5, and 6 from the base launch of the game, and adding them in a later update, which isn't a huge deal, as we never even saw really any footage or concept art of 5 and 6, but we have seen a good amount of footage and screenshots from 4, and it's sad to see it's not going to be part of the launch of the game, but if it means we get Hytale way sooner, then I'm all for it. So, will the game ever be released? Is there an end in sight? Well, the good news is that the Hytale team thinks it will take the rest of the year to fill in all the blanks and have the most functionally complete version of Hytale so far, and then spend the new year fine-tuning the creator features and minigames for the Hypixel Hytale multiplayer server hub. So, when can we expect Hytale based off of what we've seen? Well, I've learned not to be too hopeful when it comes to this game ever coming out. Some say not till 2027, even pushing 2028. Some are more hopeful and say mid to late 2025. Now, my keen intellect tells me to meet them in the middle and say 2026, which is the most realistic standpoint to me, but I want 2025 so badly. What do I think of all this? Well, if you listen to my tone and my voice, I'm very excited about this game. But waiting for this game has been hard. Something so complete looking, taken and giving a scope so big that they just had to make a new engine. It was hard to hear, but I understand that it was something they had to do. And waiting has been especially hard, seeing as I'm someone who has been watching this unfold for the past 5 years. Reading every blog post, following the developers on Twitter, and having notifications on. I never miss a beat following other fellow Hytale enthusiasts to the point where I get a wall of notifications just because John Hendricks said something related to Hytale on Twitter. This game has been a close part of my life since the first and only trailer. Part of me wishes I just forgotten about Hytale so I wouldn't have to sit here and wait for something that kept getting increasingly out of reach. They even had an estimated release date for 2023 at the earliest, they shared in a summer 2021 blog post, but this was before the engine rework. But I think they finally learned their lesson on scope via cutting zones 4, 5, and 6, and saving them to develop after launch, which honestly, after waiting so long, I'm very grateful they did, so we can finally get this game in a reasonable amount of time. Will Hytale live up to all the hype? There is not a doubt in my mind it will live up to my expectations. Will it live up to everyone's expectations? I'm not sure. All we can do is wait and hope that at least a public beta comes out mid to late 2025 and I can finally get my greasy mitts on Hytale and cry its joy as I can finally play the game I've been hyping up to all my friends all these years. We'll have to wait to see how much progress the team makes filling in the blanks in a blog post promised later this year. Till then, I can only wait. Oh, and did anyone else pretend they were playing the gameplay clips, or was that just a crazy me thing? The idea for Hytale arose due to EULA changes by the Mojang. I feel like an old person saying that. Oh, is that the Mojang Studios? No, it's just Mojang, the supermarket. Why do we put "the" in front of the name of this thing when it doesn't need a "the"? That's weird.